Hey, Facebook, what's going on? Monday. It's a rainy Monday afternoon. I don't know what the weather's like your way, but with that, I'll tell you what, I'm feeling a little lethargic, and it's not just because of the weather, it's because this weekend got ahead of me regarding food, and it made me think of what I hear a lot. People say, oh, I'm going to start intermittent fasting. And I get the questions asked all the time. Is it good for you? Is it hard? And to be honest with you, it really doesn't have to be. Let me just share with you kind of like, there's certainly the tougher ones where you don't eat all day. You completely fast all day in alternate days. I think there's ones like the 5-2 where you basically would eat regular food for 2 days and then take an entire fast and then eat another couple of days and then fast. And again, there's lots of variation. I wrote a few of the most popular ones down, and I'll share those with you in a minute. But it really doesn't have to be hard. In fact, if you feel like you ate like a jerk over the weekend, or you just ate really, really crappy over the weekend, then you can just skip a meal, right? It can be as simple as just skipping a meal. Now, what I wouldn't suggest is using that as an excuse to eat crappy on the days that you do eat or the meals that you do eat. And in fact, that's where, honestly, you're going to get in trouble, because if you're just supplying your body with terrible nutrients and terrible food, it's no different than all the other ones, the ketos and the other quick fix diets and stuff that's out there. If you're intermittent fasting and the in-between meals, the meals you're actually eating are terrible meals, you're not going to do yourself any good. In fact, just in a nutshell, what does the intermittent fasting do? It takes away food, calories in, basically calories in, calories out. It takes that away so that your body can use up what's in a nutshell, without getting all scientific, is to just basically take the energy that's in your body that maybe got stored from maybe not the meals, but maybe the excess carbohydrates and the excess snacking. And I'll be the first to admit, this weekend I definitely had a little bit extra snacking. And why I think it would be helpful to share with you about intermittent fasting right now is because I actually did it today, this morning. Now, is it something I normally do? No, I actually, around the holidays, over Christmas, and when I know there's going to be maybe excess, or to go away on vacation. When we were away a month ago, gosh, it feels like forever, but when we were away out in Breckenridge in Colorado, we had 2 meals. Basically, that was our big meals. We were also exercising a lot, but we knew there'd be foods because we'd be away from home and we didn't have our normal schedule. But, intermittent fasting doesn't have to be that hard. Of course, you've heard of the ones where you could do like a 16-8. In other words, you basically 8 hours of your day, a certain period of time of your day is the only time you're allowed to eat, and then the rest of the time you don't. There's the 5-2 that I mentioned before, where you basically are eating normal foods for 5 days of the week, and then 2 days you pick where you completely fast. And I can tell you, I know for a fact, as a health and fitness coach, it's hard. Fasting is hard, even if it's one meal. And obviously, if you have any health concerns, you probably need to check with your doctor or fitness coach to make sure that would be right for you to do. But just simply skipping a meal here and there is not going to hurt you, and that's actually an easy way. If what I wouldn't recommend you doing now is having like a terrible weekend. I say terrible weekend, say terrible in habits. You're trying to lose weight, for instance, and you go off the deep end. Maybe you had too many calories in wine and beer and desserts and snacks, and you're binging on Netflix, and you just kept opening up bags of chips and kept eating those. And then you do like, oh, I'll just fast tomorrow. Cool. But then if you go back to those bad habits, if you go back to the next week and doing the same thing, you're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot and just doing the same thing over, and definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over again. And if you're wondering if you're doing some intermittent fasting and you're not getting anywhere, you maybe feel like you're in a rut, or maybe even feeling like you're in quicksand. And it's like, gosh, I'm doing this intermittent fasting, but it's not working. Well, maybe you got to look at all the other things. Besides those, the 16 and the 8, there's the 5-2. There's the eat, stop, eat. I'm not super familiar with that one. There's the alternate day fasting, which is basically every other day. And then you either do regular food, and then you just kind of cut back and have maybe 500 or 600 calories. And then spontaneous meal skipping. You can simply, here's the thing, you don't want to go and starve yourself. And of course, if you're more active, you want to be really careful when you choose to do those fasting times. If you are exercising a lot, maybe you're not feeling that way right now because your gym is closed, or you just haven't been wanting to because of our current situation, stuck at home. But I would say is intermittent fasting, it doesn't have to be that hard. It really doesn't. In fact, Easter Why I thought this would be a pertinent conversation to have right now is because Easter, we tended to eat a little bit more. We made turkey and ham just for our family. My wife made delicious mac and cheese, and we had what was called smashed potatoes, and they were delicious. But it's not normal what we had. Now, we only really had 2 meals yesterday, and honestly, I had my first meal today at 12 o'clock. I just had I had a little turkey left over. I made a little turkey sandwich, and that was it. And then I'll have lunch, and basically that'll be dinner, and then that'll be my meals for the day. And it's definitely something that can work, and it doesn't have to be so religious. I think we get so black and white with things. Oh, are you ketoing? Are you intermittent fasting? Are you doing the 16-8? Oh, well, that's not intermittent fasting. Well, honestly, fasting is when you shut your mouth. Really, that's pretty much it. When you close your mouth for a meal or close your mouth to snacks, you're basically doing a bit of fasting in that respect. So anyway, I hope that helps. Listen, why do I share this with you? I'm an online coach. I help moms and dads over 40. I know if you're struggling, if you got your kids at home, if you're struggling trying to keep the weight off, maybe you're not even worried about taking more. Say you have 20 pounds to lose, and you're maybe not focused on that right now. Maybe you just don't want to put another 20 pounds on. Well, things like intermittent fasting, I'm definitely more in a flexible approach. I don't even have my coaching clients count calories or macros. That's the other buzzword. Oh, you need to know your macros. You need to know your macros. Well, again, you don't need to know your macros to get results. Is it one technique? Absolutely. Just like intermittent fasting, just like keto, they're all just techniques, but they're not solutions. The solution is when you have the full approach, when you not only have what you need to eat, to understand how much to eat, the quality of the food based on how much activity you have, what kind of activity you need based on the goals you're trying to achieve. Not only that, then to also have the accountability set in so that somebody can hold your butt to the fire. Because at the end of the day, look, you can have all these things. You could go up online. There's an endless amount of information. But if nobody is holding you to the fire to get the results, nobody's holding you accountable, and don't expect your friend to, let me just share this with you. If you're looking for a buddy right now or a friend to hold you accountable, it isn't going to work, because as soon as one of you go off track, you rely on that friend too much, and that's, honestly, I've only seen that fail, usually in long term. Now, maybe as a couple you can, but what better way than to actually have a coach in your corner who's going to hold your butt to the fire? Listen, if you want more information on that, you can send me a message here. I do a quick 10-minute call. Literally what you could do is get on my schedule this week to have a 10-minute call to see about where you're at. Should you fast? What kind of exercise should you do? What will be the most appropriate for you to do while you're cooped up in your home? How are you going to maybe start on the path to losing those 20 or 30 or 40 pounds, but in the same time, maybe not put on 10 or 20 pounds during this quarantine? So listen, that's all I have for you. I hope it helps. Take care. Intermittent fasting, not all that hard. In fact, you might have tried to do it. You want more help with it? Reach out and I'd be happy to help. Take care.